I am Tammy.
I'm Lisi. We are the Nutrition Twins. We're registered dietitians, personal trainers, and weight loss experts. And today we are sharing when to eat carbs for weight loss.
And as registered dietitians and weight loss experts, we have helped thousands of people to lose weight and eat carbs, but now there's some really exciting research. And on top of what we already knew about eating nourishing carbohydrates in the right portion, now we know that we should eat carbs in the right order, meaning the right order of protein, carbohydrates, veggies, and we will tell you which order this will be, and that will help you to lose even more belly fat.
So here's the deal. You absolutely do not have to cut out carbs to lose weight. And in fact, you actually can include them in a specific order, meaning the order that you include eat your carbs, protein, veggies, and fat can actually help you to get better weight loss results and fight diabetes. In fact, when you eat your carbs in this specific order in your meal, you can actually lower your blood sugar, reduce the amount of insulin that you secrete, and reduce your risk of diabetes. Plus, you can positively impact your hunger and satiety hormones, stabilize your energy, prevent cravings for sugar, and all of this positively affects your belly fat. Yay! And this new research also shows that when you eat carbs, you actually can lose weight and get healthier and fight diabetes.
Hello. Well, very cool stuff. So there's something interesting too. Researchers looked at people who eat quickly, and they said, how does the order of the meal impact these fast eaters? Well, first of all, who of you out there is a fast eater? Hi, Shauna. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Lisa. Who's a fast eater?
Okay, I have something crazy to share. Okay, so no, I'm really not a fast eater. When I eat by myself or I eat with slow eaters, I am super slow. I take my time, I relax. But when I eat with a fast eater, it's like all bets are off. I am taking you down and I am winning. And I'm super competitive. And it's not the time to be competitive because the effects are just not the best. But here's what the researchers looked at. They looked at non-diabetic healthy people, and they looked at protein, fat, carbs, and vegetables, and the order in which you eat these protein, fat, carbs, and vegetables. And then if you're a fast eater, they saw that if you ate these carbs, fats, and vegetables and protein in the right order, your blood sugar was not affected negatively, your belly fat was not affected negatively. But when you reverse the order of these components of the meal, the exact opposite happened. If you're a fast eater, then suddenly the belly fat, all the hormones were thrown off, and it was negatively impacting you.
So to understand why this is so important, you first have to understand, hi Lisa, hi Shauna. So to understand
Jennifer,
why this is so important, you first have to understand why eating quickly would possibly impact your fat on your belly. So does eating quickly impact weight gain? In a nutshell, yes. And here's what's so crazy. In fact, research shows that people who eat quickly are 115% more likely to be obese than people who eat slowly. 115%.
Okay, I can't eat with any of you fast eaters anymore. Because then I'll be keeping up with that speed, and that's not good for me.
I mean, it's crazy. And think about it. So if you eat quickly, you don't chew your food thoroughly. And that means that you're not digesting and absorbing the nutrients that you need for your metabolism and for health. Plus, you're not giving your brain the chance to get the signal that you've eaten, and you overeat because you don't feel full yet. And research shows that when you slow down and chew thoroughly, it actually positively impacts how your hunger and satiety hormones affect your brain, and it's related to weight loss.
It's true. And here's the other thing that's interesting. Okay, so if you are eating your food, remember we said if you follow the specific order that the researchers found, which we will get to, if you don't eat in that way, here's what happens. When you eat quickly, your blood sugar spikes, and when it crashes down, that's when you get sugar cravings, okay, when that crash happens. Also, when the blood sugar, after it spikes and then comes crashing down, that's also when neurotransmitters are released. One of those neurotransmitters, it's cortisol, the belly fat hormone.
Yikes.
Not only is it the belly fat hormone, but it triggers inflammation. And inflammation makes it harder to lose weight and easier to gain weight. So this is why at your meals, you always want to follow the right combination of eating veggie. You always want to include veggies, protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And we're going to get to that order.
So the order. Okay, so first let's just talk about one of our favorites, which was not always one of our favorites, but veggies. Let's talk about veggies. So where should you eat veggies in your meal? Do you think should you eat veggies first or should you eat veggies last? Well, what we will tell you is that for years, as long as we can remember, we've suggested that you eat vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, before the rest of your meal. And in fact, we have our clients start their meal when they're heading out to a restaurant by eating non-starchy veggies, and we have them eat the non-starchy veggies before they go to a cocktail party. And this has been very, very successful in their long-term weight loss success. And it's made their lives so much easier. So first, it's important to know that. And when you think about veggies, we've always shared that cool research that when you eat a green salad or you have a vegetable soup before your meal, you eat less at that meal. So not surprisingly, research also shows that if you eat a green salad before pasta, you eat less of that pasta. And I mean, let's face it, that's a tricky thing to do, and that's a win for all of us.
Okay, so with the vegetables, so we're telling you right now, the first thing that the researchers found, vegetables first, okay? And this is what they found.
They didn't necessarily. They said it could be swapped with something else, which we'll get to
later. But non-starchy vegetables, and the reason being the reasons that it should be one of the options for first choice is that it contains fiber, and fiber slows digestion, so it doesn't allow for that blood sugar rise and crash. Plus, from a standpoint that we've always been talking about, veggies, especially the non-starchy ones, fill you up with very few calories, and they keep you feeling full, so then you're less likely to overeat, and they're crowding out other foods. And they're also packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all of those great things.
So let's give you a little bit of insight into the next food here. Let's talk about protein. And write it in the comments, do you think that you should eat protein first or last in a meal? We kind of already spilled the beans here, but protein is very satisfying and it takes 4 to 6 hours to digest. However, we still suggest having vegetables first in the meal. And here's first what you need to know, and then we're going to get to why. First, you need to know that protein, your important options are things like chicken. Oh, Elisa says first. All right,
Shauna first.
Okay,
good job.
so good. So here are the important protein choices. You need things like chicken, eggs, fish, beans, tofu, edamame. Those sort of protein sources. They are going to be the king and queen for the protein. And what you do is if you have the protein, which takes 4 to 6 hours to digest, so it keeps you satisfied, with those veggies that we mentioned, which are going to be full of water and fiber, it will help to stave off hunger, and it's going to keep your blood sugar level very steady. And that's super important. And we've been curious about whether or not you should change the order in which you eat your food for a long time. And so we had started testing having the protein first because research suggests that you can actually swap whether or not you have the vegetables first or the protein first. And the reason that we suggest having the vegetables first, and remember we did test this, is because vegetables are truly not only our lovers, well, mine, are lovers, and we've taken a lover. Not only are they our lover, but they are the secret weapon for weight loss because non-starchy veggies, they fill you up with like so few calories. You can eat as much as you want, and it's only going to be positive for your waistline and for your health. And they fight that inflammation that Tammy was talking about that makes weight gain harder, weight gain easier, and weight loss harder. So it's super important to make sure you include them. And we find that if people reverse this order and they start the meal and they say, you know what, I'm going to have the protein before I have the vegetables, that then they move on to the other components of the meal and they dip out on the vegetables. And honestly, vegetables are just way too important to cut out, and especially for your belly fat and your health. So that's why we suggest you eat them first.
Okay, so now in this order of which way to eat best for carbohydrates and for belly fat. Okay, so first it's the vegetables, then we're saying the protein. But why the protein versus the fat? Because protein and fat both help with satiety. They both are helpful with GLP-1, which helps with satiety and it's the same thing that is influenced by Ozempic, which is the new weight loss drug, which was actually originally for diabetes because it delays stomach emptying, so it helps to keep you full, which is pretty amazing. So that's what protein and fat both do. So why are we saying protein
So wait
first?
a second. You might not need Ozempic. First, check out having your meal with your veggies and then your protein, and let's talk about the protein and fat. But you're getting to the same mechanism that keeps you full, that Ozempic, that's causing all this weight loss and keeping everyone full. So just try this first. We've got some great tips for you, right?
Yes, we do.
So go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay, so I was just saying, so the protein, so they both protein and fat work with the GPL-1, the glucagon, like peptide 1, which delays stomach emptying, keeps you feeling satisfied. So then why do we want protein first?
Great question. Because protein is very satisfying. It takes 4 to 6 hours to digest, but fat takes 6 to 8 hours to digest. And because of this, it actually prolongs how long food takes to get from the stomach to the intestines for absorption. So it's super satisfying. But here's the thing, and here's why you should include protein first. You need to prioritize protein. Protein takes some major digestion to be broken down, and its components are so important. You need to prioritize it because you need it for your metabolism boosting muscle. And if you're not digesting protein adequately, you might as well forget about having that lean body as well as good health, because you also need to make sure you're digesting protein adequately for your hormones and for your enzymes and for just your body to work at its best. So clearly, if your body's already working on fat and you've delayed your absorption of your important protein to your absorption, you're already behind the 8 ball and you're not doing your best to absorb your protein. And therefore, it's really important because at that point, if you start digesting protein, you're already delayed, and then you're also starting to compete with fat, which takes so long to digest. So you're not going to be able to make the most of your super valuable protein.
Okay, so let's review the order so far that is needed for eating carbs when it comes to fighting belly fat. Okay, so first you're going to eat your vegetables, then your protein, then your fat, and then if you're a carb lover, you're going to belt out Whitney Houston's song, Save the Best for Last.
Ready? If we were singers, we would
Oh my
belt it
God,
out
we
because
do
we
it.
do like carbs.
We do.
We're not good singers, and you guys would all run for the hills. So you would run for the hills, and there'd be glasses breaking over here.
So now we've explained why, because you're going to already by having the carbs last, you're slowing down the rate at which the carbs enter the bloodstream, so it's steady and there's no high followed by a crash. So you're good to go there. And the thing to keep in mind is you want whole grains, you want the best carbohydrates, not the refined ones.
And we like to think of the way that you should eat carbs, the way that you should drink alcohol if you drink alcohol. The best way to drink alcohol is after you already have food in your stomach to blunt the effect of the alcohol. Likewise, when you eat your carbs, the best way to do it is after you have those veggies, protein, and fat in your stomach to definitely blunt the effect of the blood sugar spike, because that blood sugar spike that triggers insulin and also is very bad for you metabolically. Whether or not you have diabetes, it still also impacts your belly fat. So you want to make sure you've got the order of these foods correctly when you're eating your carbs.
And how cool that research now shows this is the way to do it. So you do want to be focused on the whole grain. So quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes, any of the whole grains, and avoid the refined grains or refined foods as much as refined sugars as much as possible, because those are the ones that are going to cause the blood sugar spike, followed by the crash, then the cravings, and all of the negative effects that go with it. Okay, so let us tell you about our client, Liana. So Liana came to us about a year ago, and she's so much fun. But anyhow, she was about 30 pounds over than where she felt comfortable. She didn't have diabetes or anything like that, but she said she was always this cute, sexy girl, and now she looked in the mirror and she saw this frumpy person.
Not a fun feeling at all.
No. So she still wanted to be able to eat the food she enjoyed. So we helped her to eat her favorite carbs, which were sweet potatoes and quinoa, and she wanted to lose weight. And over time, we've helped her lose 25 pounds, and this is within the last 8 months or so, and she's been so happy. She was thrilled. She could eat her favorite mac and cheese and go to restaurants. But about 3 months ago, she told us that she hadn't lost anything in about 2 months. So we tried this new eating way with her where she would eat the carbs last, and we helped her to figure out a plan.
And we have been testing this, as we mentioned, on ourselves and with our other clients, but we hadn't tested it with her as of yet.
Until this time. And when she did it, within 2 weeks, she lost 2 pounds. So she was thrilled because it jumpstarted her, because she wanted to lose the 30 pounds. And so that brought her to the 27. And now she has reached her goal. So it does, in true fact, work.
And what was so cool for her was that she actually lost an inch around her waist in those 2 weeks. So she was so close to her goal. And it was kind of like this eating order was the final nail, the final direction she needed to push her over the edge and get her moving again. So it's always something so cool to consider when you're eating carbs for weight loss and you want to get extra results. It's very awesome to be able to time it. And if you are someone that's struggling with eating your carbs, you feel like you just can't eat carbs without gaining weight, or if you're just struggling with your weight in general, you don't need to struggle. Life is too short for that struggle. We promise you can eat your carbs and lose weight. You can lose weight. We've helped thousands of people to do it. And we actually have a really cool offer for you today. It's not even an offer. It's just so cool. So Tammy,
it's a free gift.
Yay. So Tammy has started seeing clients again. So in celebration of that, we're gifting 5 weight loss breakthrough sessions. And we don't even see clients anymore for one-on-one sessions.
For a one-time session.
Yeah.
Is what you mean.
Yeah.
We see one-on-one, but not one-time sessions.
We see them for packages. And so we don't do this anymore. And this would normally, what we're going to do at this call is we are going to first get a really crystal clear vision of where you want to go.
What you want for your weight, what you want for your health.
Yeah. And then we're going to help you figure out what's getting in the way.
And where you might be sabotaging yourself, or if there's hidden obstacles that you might not have found.
And then we're going to help you to uncover your next steps and a few things that you can do immediately to start seeing results and getting that scale moving.
And be inspired and motivated.
Yeah, and this normally this session would be a value of $499, but we are gifting 5 of these and no strings. And the only thing is that anyone that has this call, you have to be 100% committed to your health and to your weight loss, because we're only giving 5, and we want to make sure the people that use this are really going to make the most of it. So what we're going to do is we are going to put an application in this, and we're opening up this to our community. So you want to do this now, we're going to put an application in the comments, and you just fill it out.
It's a link to the application to fill it out, just to see if you're a good candidate.
Yeah, and then 5 of you lucky ones will be getting this. And we love doing this because it's really rewarding for us. So anyway, that is that. You guys have been amazing for showing up. We're so excited to have had you, and to have shared how you can actually lose weight when you're eating your carbs, and when eating your carbs, specifically the order that you eat your carbs in your meal matters.
Right, and if you try it, please report back to us. We want to know if it works for us, and we even test
for you.
But when we do it, we said we've been doing it for a couple months. We've been testing our blood sugar, so it's really cool to see that it actually does work.
It's crazy. It really does. So that's great news for all of our belly fat. All right. Have a great night. Thank you so much for joining. Bye. Bye, Frank. Bye, Don.
Bye.
Bye, Ed.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much.